Hi there, you are tuned into Beauty and Braids, the podcast where I, Karyne, has conversations about all things relevant to personal growth and development. Just a heads up, I'm unfiltered. You're welcome. Hey, everybody, this is your girl, Karyne, and I have a new development that has come up. So I just realized that I'm afraid of success. Well, I'm working through it, so I'm no longer afraid of success because I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. I was speaking with one of my really close, girlfriends, and we were talking, catching up, and everything like that. And I started, talking, and the more I spoke, the more it came clear to me that I'm scared of success. Like, a lot of people, look at me, or she was looking at me like, what you mean you're afraid of success? Like, you're successful. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I can be so much further. And a lot of people see that and say that. And they're like, yo, I've been following your career for years. And I'm surprised you haven't, went super far. And I'm like, I thought, I'm like, you know what? I'm not for it. Like, I don't want to be in the limelight. I want to be this. And actuality is, I'm afraid of success. To me, what that means is it's more responsibility, more people coming up to you and asking you how you did it. Most times, I don't know how I did it. Like, from God's grace, like things, opportunities present itself, I start to utilize the skills and talents that I already have. And I just kind of like learning. So I'm always put in new places where opportunities are, and I also create my own opportunities. So when things happen for me, it's because I'm in the energy of creation and abundance. So I'm in that energy. So I attract that energy. So sometimes it gets overwhelming, and then I, stop. I just say, when I suffer from anxiety, mild anxiety, not like panic attack. I only had a panic attack like once, maybe twice, but once. That was the first time I ever had it, and I didn't know what to do but just walk outside. And it was cold outside, and the cold didn't even bother me because I needed it. Like, my chest needed like some cold air. But with that, it's just so much stuff happening. And also you have people who look at you like, oh, you think you better than them. And what I did was try to not showcase how much of a success I can be, because other people around me weren't in that same energy and were looking to me as like this person and putting me on a pedestal. And to me, I was just like, look, I'm doing what anybody else can do. If you just believe in yourself enough and you really are passionate about something, you'll do it too. And it's just that simple. And that's how I thought about things. And now that I'm saying it out loud now, not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody has had those same experiences that I have had in the past or in growing up. I had people who literally believed in me, like they seen, I was, blessed with people who, as a child at 10 years old, seen, oh, a great artist. Like, okay, you just drew this. Like, now, can you draw all the flags in the classroom and that be your contribution to the classroom? You know what I'm saying? So, and receiving a leadership award at 5th grade, like those things inspired me and showed me like you are great, or letting people, people telling me, I don't even know why you're in this class. Like I was in ESL and they were like, I don't even know why you're here. Like you speak perfect English, like you know your things. I'm just like, I don't know, but I actually like this place. Like it was a way for me to get away from class work. We played a lot of games in ESL, so it was fun. I never really complained about places that I was like, though, where people thought that it was, low or anything like that. But again, it was just like I was in places, and it was more of a mental. It really was. I was on public assistance, and I had to be in a back to work program, and people were looking at my resume and like trying to figure out why the hell was I there. And now that I think about it, I chose to be there. Like when you're stuck because you choose to be stuck. Like I was there like I don't know why I'm here, but it was because I didn't take the chance on myself. I already had a business degree. I had a whole nonprofit that I was, that I literally, sat down, figured out how to do the 501c3 application and everything like that, got my board together, got volunteers, made that work. But when it came to the finances, I wasn't asking for money. When you think about money, then it's real. You know what I'm saying? In a nonprofit, it's real. You have to manage that, audit, and stuff like that. And I was taking the easy way route out. And after, some years, it became a burden because it wasn't fruitful as far as monetary wise. It was fruitful because we were helping individuals, but it was draining on me and my resources because it was out of pocket and doing extra time because there wasn't money coming in on a regular to support some of the volunteers and our materials and stuff like that. So of course, that I was putting, saying, oh God, but in actuality, YTC was being neglected. Like I wasn't too into it because it was draining me, and I had to make money, find funds. But during the time that I was on public assistance, which was a good amount of years ago, probably in 2014, I was doing odd jobs, and I went on an interview, and it was like for a dishwasher, like to be a dishwasher at a restaurant. And they were looking at me like, you have a nonprofit, why are you here? You're overqualified. And I just was like, I just want a job. Just give me a job. They're like, okay. And at the time I had my hair license. I was certified to be a cosmetologist. I had my license, my cosmetology license, and I had all of these accolades. I was accumulating everything. You could call me Joan, not Joan. You could call me Lynn from Girlfriends. I was just accumulating a whole bunch of things, but not really putting anything to really sustain myself in my career at that time. And I'm like, I have a hair license. I could do hair. I'm a cosmetologist. I have a business degree. I had a board tending certificate. I had a food handling license. I had all of these things that could primarily, if I wanted to, I could just launch whatever and whenever, whatever, right? So I end up and saying, you know what? I couldn't anymore. I couldn't keep getting rejected by jobs. And in between, while I was looking for employment in the Back to Work program, you are supposed to work for the food stamps, all right, for the food stamps, the cash and all that. And I was working as like, I was a cleaner kind of thing, like in a government office where I wiped down elevators. I was wiping down desks and dropping off paper, cleaning out refrigerators and microwaves and kitchen countertops. It was degrading. It was degrading. And I was there like, oh my God, like, this is what I'm doing, right? But I met some amazing people. I met a cosmetologist that was there as well, but she focused more on makeup. She was a Jehovah Witness, and I was a Christian, and we ended up hanging out with. There was a guy there. He was a black guy, and he was. He just was. I guess he was you would call it a convict, but he came out of prison and he had to be in the back to work program. So we all just kind of connected, cracked jokes. It was a group of like 20 people that we had to sign in every day, and then be sent to assignments in different floors to clean, right? If you don't have a cool networking or support system within the area that you're in, you would probably go crazy. But I had a real cool team. You know, we were like cracking jokes, talking about God, talking about how everything happens for a reason, and you know, like I still have connections with the cosmetologist. We never got a chance to connect more with the guy that was there. I totally forgot his name. It was in 2014, but it was a good thing for me. I needed, well, wherever I go, I will meet a friend. I don't care, because we're in it together. So in that, I just told her, like, I was like, yo, I'm done with this. It was like weeks, and it was just like, I'm done with this. I can't. Like, I have a whole, and then I started to believe in myself. I was like, I have a whole license. I have a business degree and a cosmetology license. I could work for myself. I can braid. I'm painless. Like, first, what I ended up doing was starting with like weave. I started reaching out to the contacts that I already had. I was doing my own hair, and I was showing up like, you know, these are my prices. And I started off with $100, you know, $80 for weaves and stuff like that. I started off really low, because I was on public assistance at the time. So, and then when that started taking off and I realized, oh shoot, I could do this on my own, I started raising up my prices, adding some stuff, getting more professional, making sure I have my business cards, my cape, and turn it into a business. I did have my EIN number, but however, I wasn't incorporated at the time. I just was, you know, operating with my EIN number and just kind of doing it. And I didn't open up a business account. I had my personal account. So I just wanted the money. I was like an entrepreneur, but a hustler, because I didn't have a business account. I had my personal account. So basically every head that I was doing was feeding me. You know, it was feeding me, it was keeping clothes on my back and things like that. So I was living, I guess, paycheck to paycheck or head to head. And then, you know, I started raising up my prices every now and then, raising it up, because I felt like, yo, I'm doing this amazing thing. And some of my clients was telling me like, your prices are too low. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry about that. I am sorry. Okay, so I was like, um, okay, let me start raising up my prices, start, you know, doing things and have a website and all that extra stuff and really investing in myself. Um, and, traveling. And then before you know it, I took myself off of public assistance. And I was like, yo, it was the best feeling to get off of public assistance. I am super grateful to be to have had access to it. Yes. But a lot of people just frown upon that stuff. And yeah, there are people who take advantage, but then there's people who actually need it, to get on their feet. I needed it to get on my feet. I wasn't trying to milk public assistance for the rest of my life. I was like, okay, I had a goal. I'm getting off of this. That was the cash assistance. I got off of the cash assistance, and then I still had food stamps. And I was like, okay, working and working. And then all of a sudden I end up getting to a point when I was like, I'm off of food stamps. And so it literally was me believing in myself, believing that I can do it. And, believing I could be successful at the time. Now that I'm looking at it, is like, I believe I can be successful in sustaining myself without going to public assistance or without depending on the government to survive. And I'll be able to pay my rent, pay my phone bill, and pay for food. Food is very expensive, especially if you're trying to eat healthy. That is expensive. So it was just like, yeah. And then you think about clothing, you're going to look proper and things like that. So, and the more I tried to raise my prices because of the quality work that I was doing, I got a lot of backlash. I got people where they're like, oh, that's how much you cost. Like, they like my work. They rave my work. Like some people who have never used me or whatever. And they're like, oh my God, girl, you need to do my hair. And I don't know if they think I'm just doing hair for 5 cents, but it was just like, oh, thank you for noticing my work, and who I've worked with. But when it came down to, paying my price, it was always an issue. So it was just like, damn, maybe I shouldn't raise my prices. Maybe, and then, so now I'm at 2020. 2020 is like, I don't, look, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. That is not my problem. I cannot base my prices on your budget. I cannot feel bad or desperate enough, because when I was desperate, I was charging $80. I was running promotions and all of that stuff because I felt like that was the only way I can get people. But I know that the quality service that I provide that actually promotes hair growth, and I'm dermatologist recommended. After all of that, I'm like, why am I selling myself so short because people can't afford it? So it's not, and I gotta realize people want to do what's best for themselves, and I should do the same. And so yeah, I'm like, I literally was looking at 2020 like, yo, I have not worked since March, like, and then I ended up breaking my foot, and I was like, oh my God, like, is the universe trying to tell me something? Like, I shouldn't be braiding, like I shouldn't be doing something, or should I pivot? Like, what's going on? And of course you're scared, but I've been scared a lot. Okay, I've noticed, the more I think about it and the more I talk about it, I have left a lot of jobs because I was not happy. And the next job that I got, I was happier than I was in the last. And I've taken leaps. I quit my state job and started my nonprofit. And so many people love the idea of my nonprofit that I've had hundreds of volunteers volunteer. you know. And with my hair company, I end up incorporating it. So 2020, my Hair by Karyne is incorporated. So I'm just moving more into turning into a business owner, of more than one business, because I do have more than one business. I have uh, two incorporations. One is a nonprofit and an LLC. So I have three companies that I'm going to be working on developing, right? So, and it's just not going to stop. And not so now I need to be in the boss mode to not look at people who want to volunteer and and do those because they so happy to be in my brand. Are they qualified? Are they actually doing what they say they're doing? And I'm the type of person that doesn't really like confrontation, or I don't like firing people and things like that, or calling people out. I will though, because what I was doing was treating my businesses as hobbies. I was not treating them like businesses. I wasn't realizing how much time and effort and money I put behind these companies. And the more I allowed people to disrespect the time, the effort, that was put into it, it's like a slap in my own face. Like I'm allowing people to do how I want. So basically, success means that I have to be accountable for myself and for the people that I allow in my area, right? Whether it be my family, friends, coworkers, employees, volunteers, all of that. I was trying to avoid for years the responsibility of being a boss, because if you be a boss, now everybody's looking at you like, what do you want to do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And they're asking you all those questions. And if it fails or succeeds, it's on you. And I have to believe in myself, because I wouldn't have been able to receive these ideas of these companies if it wasn't for me. And I gotta understand, even if I fail, I still learn. And in failure, you learn. If I'm afraid to fall, if I'm afraid to fall or fail, I don't learn anything. I don't grow. So yeah, so for anybody who's listening, I would like to tell y'all that fall, fail, learn, improve yourself. It's all about development. And I've I've made hella mistakes that cost me some money, some money. But I would never have gotten the knowledge that I have today had it not been for those mistakes and those chances I took. And even the chances I took and the opportunities to just go for a dream led me to something so amazing. Just having faith and just saying, we got this. That type of confidence, that needs to be in leadership. Because then your team is like, yeah, we got this. And you have to be a motivational speaker. So in fifth grade, I was awarded the leadership award from my fifth grade teacher, who I'm still in contact with today, because she was so amazing and she was in my corner. And I've still carried that with me for the rest of my life. So be a leader. Leader is more than a boss. It's somebody who's not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get dirty. But they're also someone who can stand back and trust that the team that they put in place is able to get things done as well. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm no longer afraid of success. I welcome it with every risk, with every opportunity, and with every lesson that I will learn through any type of failure. And I would celebrate every win, big or small. So everybody who is listening, do not be afraid of success, because it's a beautiful process and you only got one life. So go ahead, mess it up, shake it up, get it done. Bye. Thank you again for listening to Beauty and Braids. I'm your girl Karyne, and this has been another great day. Until next time, you'll hear from me then. In the meantime, please follow me on @Hair by Karyne, @Shop Braid Appeal, and @YTC Nonprofit. Get to know me a little bit better. Check them out. Bye.